Hey, I'm finally able to make a positive video for Manchester United after weeks of bad football. We smashed Chelsea 2-1. And you know the funniest thing about this result? United has been media hunted for the whole season. We have been called one of the worst teams in the league. It's our historically worst start to the league. But the funny thing about this, we are only 3 points behind Manchester City. We have won the same number of games. We are only 3 points behind City. You know how amazing that is? Manchester City, who just won the Premier League, who have just won the treble, are only 3 points behind the worst Manchester United side ever. I just love that fact. I just love to see City fans raging, to see them miserable. I just love to see it. And I hope that just continues. So let's start our video. 5 reasons why Manchester United won over Chelsea 2-1. The first reason is Erik Ten Hag's team selection and substitutions. When the team sheet came out, the biggest surprise and the most obvious change which should have been made was Rashford getting dropped. I think that was the right call. As I said in my previous video as well, Rashford needed to be dropped because there's just something wrong with him. I don't know if it's his desire, his entitlement, or what, but he wasn't working hard enough. And the biggest benefit of this was Rashford got dropped for Anthony, and Anthony had his best game for United this season. Anthony was very vital for our attack. The other changes he made was putting Shaw back at left back, which was a better option than Dalot at left back. And he finally played Amrabat, our actual CDM, in the CDM position. The only problem I had with this team was Mctominay was playing instead of Menu. And to Ten Hag's credit, he proved me wrong, as well as many other fans. He stuck to McTominay, and McTominay returned that favor by scoring 2 goals. The other thing is that at halftime, like till halftime, Chelsea had a lot of chances. They were catching us on the counter again and again. So Ten Hag saw that and he made the right change. Lindelof was probably our worst defender. I don't mean that he was the worst player on the pitch, just that out of the 4 defenders, he was the worst defender. So Ten Hag just put Shaw at left centre back, put Reguilon at left back, and that changed the whole flow and control of the game. We were on top of Chelsea for the second half. They didn't have any major chance in second half. And that was due to this halftime substitution. So yeah, I really like this team selection of dropping Rashford, getting Amrabat into the team, and Shaw at left back. Shaw has been vital since he has returned. If you're liking my video so far, then I would really appreciate that you click on the subscribe button below to get notified of my future uploads, as well click on the like button. The second reason why we won is the game plan actually worked. The players committed to the press. What was happening till now in the season is that whenever our players went to press, it was like very disorganized. If one player went, the other didn't go. If the second player went, the third didn't go. But in this match, we saw everyone pressing at the right time, together. Even our fullbacks, Dalot and Shaw. What that made happen is we won the ball constantly in their half. We put so much pressure on them. We created so many chances just from that. And it was really lovely to see that for once, the plan actually worked and we looked really, really good. And the major reason why the pressing worked is Amrabat. He had his best game of the season, and it's very clear to see why. He had 11 ball recoveries, 5 out of 7 duels won, and 3 out of 3 tackles won. That is such a good performance from Amrabat. The thing with Amrabat was he didn't have any preseason because he was protesting to move to United. Then he has had a couple of injuries. He has played as a left back. And now finally he's getting some game time as his actual position. So the more he plays here, the more he'll show his qualities and why Ten Hag wanted it. I want to see him playing in the CTM going forward along with Menu. The third reason why we won is that in this game we finally created chances. Till now, United has been a team which scores a goal, sits back, game over. We barely create any chances for a striker. But in this game, we didn't even create chances. We had 28 shots at Chelsea's goal, highest for a season. We had more than 4 XG, which is the second highest in the league till now. We only scored 2 goals, even with 4 XG, right? But the thing is, we could have scored so many more. Mctominay had a chance where he could have squared it to Højlund, but he shot, saved. Højlund had a chance to reverse pass it to Bruno for a free shot, but he shot, saved. So even McTominay could have had a hat trick. Then Nacho had a late 1v1 chance, but he couldn't score. We created so many chances. We actually looked like a team which deserves to be in the top 4, which finished third last season. It was such a fun match to watch. And the thing about this is, even though Højlund didn't get his goal, he was really, really playing well. He was linking up, he was holding the ball well, he was making the runs, he was pressing throughout the match. So his goal will come eventually. We just need to be patient. And Anthony had his best game. Anthony was spinning his defender the whole game, making runs, making passes, crossing the ball, shooting. He looked really aggressive, really progressive, pressing the whole game non-stop, along with Garnacho. So I hope he finds his form and continues this consistently. And Garnacho as well. He was probably our most threatening player, and his link up with Bruno was phenomenal to see. Garnacho was creating chances again and again. He was pressing all the time. He was running back, covering for the fullback. So at this point, I don't see how Rashford gets in to the team unless he commits to it 100% and doesn't think of him as a superstar who doesn't have to run back, track back, because otherwise he doesn't get back into the team. The fourth reason why we won is that, lads, it's Chelsea. We have to remember that even with all of this XG and chances created and duels won and stuff, that it's still just Chelsea who are 10th in the league. Chelsea have been massively inconsistent this season. They won against Tottenham, but they were only 9 men. They got a draw against City, but they've been losing other games. So Chelsea are a big team, but they aren't a good team. Pochettino has been under pressure at Chelsea as well, and they have a lot of youngsters. But the thing is, we destroyed them throughout the whole match. They only had a few chances, which they missed. Onana made a 1v1 save for Jackson, and besides that, they weren't many chances. We were on top of them throughout the whole match. Even Bruno missed a penalty. We could have had many more goals. If both sides were clinical, we would still have won it like 6-3. So what I'm trying to say is we shouldn't get carried away by this result. The biggest problem with United has been consistency. We show up like this in one game, but we can't do it in the next game. So the biggest question comes, can we keep doing it again and again, even against better teams? The fifth reason why we won is that United played as a team, finally. It wasn't about ego balling. It wasn't about individual brilliance. It was about the whole team playing well. Garnacho played well. Anthony had his best game. Amrabat had his best game. McTominay scored 2 goals. Bruno was really well in linking a captain's performance. Maguire was stepping up. Dalot was putting great crosses. Shaw was great. Onana made some saves. The whole team played well. And that's the first time we have seen it this season. The only issue I have is, can we keep doing this against better teams? Like we saw before, we won against Everton, Sheffield, and, Burnley and stuff. But we lost against Galatasaray, against Newcastle, stuff like that. So can we do this next week against Liverpool and Bayern? I don't think so. The weak link, I would say, is McTominay still. Yes, he can score a lot of goals. I understand. I give him credit for it. But the thing is, outside of that, he doesn't offer much defensively or offensively in progressive passing. I would still like to see a lot more stability in that midfield. Along with Amrabat, I would like to see someone like Menu or like Mount or I know Mount is injured, but or Casemiro or Eriksen, who are a lot more stable and not as forward thinking as Mctominay. Because if we go to Anfield with this same midfield, I'm sure we will concede a lot of goals. McTominay is probably our best super sub, and just stuck him into the box, and that's it. But I do think we just need a more stable partner for our defensive midfielder. I just hope we can keep consistent and keep playing as a team where every person does his role, commits to it, and gives 100% energy on the field. That there is no ego play of not tracking, of not running, of taking wild shots, of not passing at the right time. That's my only worry from this performance, that can we stay consistent? This match was great to see, but can we keep doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks? I sure hope so, because that will determine if Ten Hag keeps his job or not. Now, let's talk about a few extra talking points. The first is the media hunt. Before this match, we got so many leaks of media that Ten Hag has lost his dressing room, primarily from Samuel Luckhurst. If you have been a Manchester United fan for a few years, then you already know who Luckhurst is. But if you are a football fan who doesn't know, Luckhurst is a head of some newspaper publishing. I don't remember which. I think it might be Mirror or The Independent, not sure. But the thing about Luckhurst is, whenever United loses or is in a bad form, Luckhurst is always the one who does player leaks, dressing room leaks. He's always the one who does it. Whether it's Oli, during Oli time, Ragnick time, Ten Hag, any time. He's the one who gives out exclusives saying, I have got a dressing room leak that players don't like Ten Hag, players don't like Oli. So what Ten Hag and the club finally did is they banned him from media. Like, he cannot come to the conferences anymore, which is great to see, because I always thought that he's a very toxic reporter who always likes to create trouble at the club instead of helping the club. The other person is Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan has been like a pro-Cristiano propagandist. So what he does is, he says that Ten Hag made Ronaldo quit the club. Ten Hag is at fault and Ten Hag should be sacked. He's always posting stuff like that. And Piers Morgan was in the stands for this match. So I'm sure if he lost this match, Piers Morgan would have posted like 100 posts saying Ten Hag sucks, Ten Hag should be fired, whatever. So there was a lot of media toxicity, but Ten Hag shut them all up, because this didn't look like a team which had lost 50% of the dressing room. These players played for the manager, played for the team. And I hope it continues, because if it doesn't, then there's no hope for this club anymore, unless we sell majority of the players. The second talking point is fixtures. We won against Chelsea. We might win or draw against Bournemouth. The issue comes next week. Bayern home, Liverpool away. Even though we won against Chelsea, our problem since like 2-3 years has been we don't perform well against big teams, especially away from home. So if we lose against Bayern and get out of Champions League, and if we lose against Liverpool with a bad score, it will get really, really toxic very quickly. And at that time, there will again be player leaks and reports that Ten Hag might get sacked. So I'm just worried about those two results. How well can these players do against a top team? Will they crumble under mentality again, or will they actually do some good work? So yeah, that's it for my video. I enjoyed the match. It was really fun to see after a long time that United played the best match of the season, where we were attacking, pressing, defending. Everything was good. I hope it stays consistent. I want Ten Hag to stay at the club because he's the right manager. And I just don't want players to down their tools against the big teams in the next few weeks. I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you for watching my videos. Goodbye.